Hello, everybody.
Calling case number 24 RO08767. This is people of the City of Royal Oak versus Mitchell Douglas Davis. That's you, sir.
Yep, that's correct. Can you hear me okay?
Mr. Davis, you were present a couple minutes ago when the court explained the informal hearing process. True?
Yes.
And the court also explained that you would be required to make a selection from one of three options as relates to your own rights, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Mr. Davis, the citation before the court was issued on November the 16th of this year. At about 3 minutes of 10 in the evening, you were operating a 2019 Ford Fusion gray in color, 11 Mile Road, near Laurel, in the city of Royal Oak. And at that place and time, the plate on the vehicle had expired on your birthday last July.
Yep.
So you may admit responsibility, admit and explain, or you can deny responsibility, we'll swear the parties and take proofs. What would you like the court to do for you?
I think admit and explain. This is all new to me, so I apologize.
No, you're doing fine. So in fact, on the date in question, so in November, the plate was expired since July the 29th, correct?
Correct. Yep. Yeah, I had a 2-year plate.
And that was in the city of Royal Oak, correct?
Yep, it was in my driveway.
All right. Thank you for that. And what would you like to tell the court?
Yep, the only thing, as soon as I got back into my house within like 10 minutes, because I was at my parking lot, I did renew the registration. I got the registration, and to make things even more fun, I don't physically have the registration card anymore because right after that, my car was stolen. So I'm trying to deal with one thing at a time here. I do have screenshots of the actual.
Okay, screenshots are great. Feel free to share away.
So I have the.
I'm sorry, Officer Carter, you had.
Yeah, I said, I'm sorry your car got stolen. I just wanted to throw it out there. That's terrible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So I think my plates are still, I don't know how that works. Like, I mean, they're registered. They have the tab on them, but I'm sure if you look them up, they'll probably say that the plate is stolen. I do have the vehicle back, but not the plate itself.
Okay.
Wow. Was it stolen from home or someplace
Yep, right
else?
out of my driveway. So I had both the keys. No one had any cameras on it or anything, but we did end up, like, my app. I don't know how they disabled GPS. I know this is unrelated, but they disabled GPS, but like 2 days later it pinged up on my phone. So we had to like drive down to Detroit. We like found where it was. Officers from the Detroit police like boxed them in, and they like took off. They like ran over curbs and stuff, went on a little goose chase, and then ditched the car. And now I have a car. It doesn't work, but I have it back. So
Wow. You went through a true crime episode of your own. I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad nobody got hurt. You want to go ahead and share your screen? That's fine, unless Officer Carter wants to make a motion in advance.
Yeah, Your Honor, I already ran the plate prior. It is up to date. I motion to dismiss it.
All right, motion to dismiss. Hopefully all's well that ends well. Mr. Davis, good luck to you. Take care of yourself.
thanks. Appreciate your time. Have a good New Year.
You too.
Calling case numbers 24 RO08458 and 58A. These are people of the City of Royal Oak versus Jabari Ami Palmer. That's you, sir?
Yeah, that's me.
All right. Mr. Palmer, before we go into the proceedings proper, the court needs to ask you a question.
Yep.
If you were here in person, would you be wearing a tank top and a hat inside of a courtroom?
No, you want me to take it off? I'm sorry.
I would love you to take off the hat, and if you would like, I think it would be more appropriate just to put some form of a shirt on over your tank top.
Okay,
then
give
we'll
me 1
proceed.
second, sir. I apologize. Okay.
Much appreciated. So, Mr. Palmer, the citation, you were here earlier. The court explained the nature of an informal hearing, true?
Yes.
And the court also explained that you must select from one of three options to protect your own rights, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Palmer, the citation before the court was issued November the 3rd this year, about 11:30 in the evening. You were operating a 2011 Ford Fusion, black in color, eastbound 12 Mile Road, near Vincetta Boulevard, City of Royal Oak. And at that place and time, you disobeyed a traffic signal and were unable to readily produce proof of insurance for the officer on their request. Officer Kavanaugh's remarks, which appear on your ticket, indicate observed vehicle eastbound 12 Mile Road traveled through light at Vincetta on red signal, could not provide proof of insurance. He did make a note that apparently you were a delivery driver. So with all that said, as to those two citations, Mr. Palmer, you may admit responsibility, you can admit and explain, or you may deny responsibility, and the court will swear the parties and we will take testimony. What would you like the court to do for you?
So, I mean, it was late at night, so I don't really remember what the light I went through. But it was so
Okay,
late.
well, the court wasn't there. The officer was, but this is your day in court. So the court's not here to give you legal advice. I'm like the umpire. I can't tell you whether to throw a spitter or a knuckleball or what have you. This is up to you. Okay. So the court does need to take a plea as required by law. So you may admit and explain, or you can deny responsibility.
I like to admit and explain.
Very well. So you admitted to the court that on the date in question, you were operating a motor vehicle in the city of Royal Oak. True?
True.
And at that place in time, you disobeyed a traffic signal and did not have ready proof of insurance to provide to the officer on their request, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Palmer, what would you like the court to know?
So about the insurance, that's really the main thing. My insurance was in somebody else's name that I knew, and she has never sent me the updated proof of insurance that I needed because the old one had expired. And so when I asked her, even after that interaction, she never got back with me. And so immediately after that, I got new insurance already. So I have new insurance, proof of insurance that I can show, to the court, to you, to anyone, really.
You have that proof of insurance with you?
No, it's not like it's online. If I can send it or email it, I could do that.
Officer, are you anywhere near a device on which you could check the insurance issue?
Yes. If Mr. Palmer, if you could send it, can I give you my email address?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. You ready?
1 second.
All right.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, it's Kevin, Kevin.
Okay, I just sent it your way.
All right.
Should be from a Gmail.
All right, very good. Magistrate, I'd like to make a motion to dismiss the no proof insurance.
Very well. You don't have a problem with the motion to dismiss on that, do you, Mr. Palmer?
No.
All right, that's great. The court is very grateful for your due diligence on that one. What would you like to tell the court about that traffic signal?
I was really tired that night. Are there points involved with violating that traffic signal?
Well, yes, there are. And the court is not in a position to haggle about points. There are points involved in answer to your question. And before the court imposes any sanctions and final disposition on a case, the court does hear from the citing officer. So if that helps your statement, what else would you like the court to know?
I was just extremely tired. I wasn't meaning to do it. I drive all the time with delivery drivers, DoorDash, it wasn't purposeful. Like, I don't do that at all on a day-to-day basis. I never do that. So I don't know, I must have seen that the light was green and then my brain did something and I made a mistake, really. But it wasn't intentional at all. Like, at all.
Okay. The court appreciates your remark. The court notes that civil infractions don't require intent. So frequently, if not most of the time, somebody doesn't mean to exceed the speed limit, or they don't mean to, turn right on red when that's prohibited, what have you. The bottom line is this: the motor vehicle code is a safety regulation. So there's 9 million or so people in the state of Michigan. 7,200,000 drive. That's a lot of cars.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of people. And in a dense area such as you were in, especially with what amounts to a braided intersection there, that could really have been kind of a hot mess. So we're glad everyone's in one piece. Officer Kavanaugh, what would you like to share?
Magistrate, I'd like to make a motion to amend to disobey traffic control device.
Very well. That's going to save you, that's going to shave a point for you, Mr. Palmer. So there's a motion to amend to disobey device, and the fine for that is also less. So that's $130. That's payable through the pay portal on the 44th District Court website, or you can walk a cash check or charge into the 44th District Court at 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday between 8:30 and 4:30. That's due within, well, we're working our way through the holiday. Court's going to mark that for 21 days. That completes your hearing. Good luck to you.
Okay, and excuse me, how many points is it again?
It went from 3 to 2.
Okay, is there any way I can go about removing those other two, or
I believe the Secretary of State does have a remediation program. The court doesn't have the authority to do anything about that. The officer has made a motion related to as much relief as he's willing to afford. So I believe your next step in taking a look at that would be to jump on your Google machine and look up that Secretary of State remediation program. Okay?
All right, thank you so much.
All right. Good luck to you.
All right.
Calling case number 24 RO08419. This is people of the City of Royal Oak versus Philip Anthony Cernick. That's you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Cernick. Today's the date and time set for your informal hearing. An informal hearing is just that. This is not a criminal case. Nobody goes to jail today on this citation, but it is considered serious enough that Officer Cole issued the citation on the date in question, which was in fact November the 2nd of this year at about 2 minutes past 8 in the evening. You were operating a 2014 Dodge Ram van cargo, white in color, on Forestdale at or near Woodward M1 in the City of Royal Oak. And at that place and time, you disobeyed a stop sign. Officer Cole's remark, which appears on your citation, indicates defendant turning off westbound Forestdale onto northbound Woodward, failed to complete stop at stop sign, also disobeyed traffic signal Catalpa, but there was simply a warning issued for that. So the circumstances are these, Mr. Cernick. You have 3 options to protect your own rights. You may admit responsibility in this matter. The court will attach the scheduled fine and that'll close the case. You can admit responsibility with an explanation that you believe mitigates your circumstances. The court can't make any promises related to that. Or you may deny responsibility. If you deny responsibility, the court will swear the parties under oath. The officer will testify first. They have the burden of proof. Then it's your turn to testify and tell the court what you wish the court to know. Then the court is required, based on the evidence, to make a finding of responsible or not responsible. Please note that's based on the civil burden of proof, which is a mere preponderance of the evidence, not a guilt or innocence inquiry, but simply a 50.1% standard. So as to disobey stop sign, do you admit and explain, or do you wish to deny responsibility?
Deny responsibility.
Very well. Would the parties please raise their right hands? You both solemnly swear the testimony you shall give before this court shall be the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Officer, you have the burden. Please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. On November 2nd, 2024, at approximately 2000 hours, me and my partner, Officer Jones, were patrolling the area of northbound Woodward around the Forestdale area. While on patrol, we noticed a white, referred to it as a panel van, which turned to be a 2014 Ram cargo van. Turning off of westbound Forestdale on the northbound Woodward, he failed to come to a complete stop at the stop sign that is at that intersection. As officers proceeded to follow him, he also disobeyed the traffic signal at Woodward and Catalpa. The light was solid red and he proceeded through it. Officers issued a citation just for the one violation of disobeying the stop sign, as opposed to the disobeying the traffic control device, to try to cut him a bit of a break there.
Understood. And did you or your colleague officer make visual contact with Mr. Cernick at this time?
Yes, sir.
So there's no doubt that this was the gentleman that was
Yes, sir. He
operating
was
more-
the sole occupant and driver of the vehicle.
Okay. Any exigent circumstances that you could see that would require him to do what you at least suggested he did?
No, Your Honor. Traffic was light. There was no other traffic coming on Forestdale, and there was very light traffic on northbound Woodward.
Thank you. You obviously have a right to rebuttal, Officer Cole, but it is now, Mr. Cernick, your turn. What do you wish the court to know?
Okay, so I stopped at the stop sign that's prior to the sidewalk. And then when I looked to the left, there was some vehicles parked right there. It used to be like an old veterinary hospital. So after I made my complete stop there, I proceeded to ease forward, and I noticed that, because I couldn't see past, like, I think it was like might have been like a white cargo van or something, like some kind of like a big van or even Suburban of some sort. So when I made it to the corner, I seen it was clear, so I kept going. So that's why I figured I stopped at the stop sign. But when I proceeded to go through, when I was making my right-hand turn, I guess I could see where she was seeing where I could have been disobeying the stop sign, but I literally stopped at the stop sign. But then, like I said, once I passed the sidewalk and I was making the right-hand turn, I noticed it was clear, so I kept going.
So that the record is as clear as possible. Are you suggesting there's two stop signs in that particular area? You stopped at one and then the other one you rolled through in order to get on the roadway because your view was obstructed? I want to make sure I understand.
No, there's one stop sign prior to the sidewalk, and then there's parking on that right in that corner there. So what I did is I stopped at the stop sign that was before the sidewalk. Then as I proceeded to go through, because my view was blocked, what I'm saying, there's not another stop sign. Basically, it's just you're like probably maybe a car length, and then you're on Woodward. So then that's when I made my right. I noticed it was clear when I made it to the corner, and then I made my right-hand turn.
Okay. Is there anything else you want the court to know, Mr. Cernick?
I mean, it's been a long time since I've gotten in trouble, pulled over. I don't know if we could just take it under advisement. I obviously I don't break the laws and stuff like that.
The court has no idea what your driving record looks like because it doesn't review driving records before it undertakes these dockets. The court wants to judge every case on its merits alone as of the day of. We were talking about Forestdale, isn't that right, Officer Cole?
Yes, sir. It should be right by the Ford dealership.
And what, if any, rebuttal testimony would you like to offer?
Your Honor, me and my partner saw him fail to come to complete stop at that stop sign. Even if you slow down slightly before it, the sidewalk, which, I'm not aware of there being two stop signs in that area, you still failed to come to a complete stop at that stop sign, putting yourself and other vehicles at risk. And it could have gone either way. I could have given him a warning for that one and wrote him for going through the red light at Woodward and Catalpa. I just chose one or the other. So other than that, I have nothing to add, Your Honor.
Understood. So that the record is plain. It's my understanding there's just one stop sign.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you very much. The court has heard the testimony of both parties in this matter. And in civil cases, there are two things to note. The first is intent is not an issue. One doesn't necessarily intend to violate the motor vehicle code, but it can and does occur frequently. The second is that the burden of proof is very light compared against a criminal case. That requires a showing of guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. A civil matter only requires a showing of preponderance of the evidence. The court does believe that the officer has met her burden in this matter. The fine in this Citation is $150. That is payable through the pay portal, sir, on the 44th District Court website. Or you can walk a cash check or charge into this court at 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday between 8:30 and 4:30. That is due within 7 days. If you wish to appeal this court's ruling, you may do so as well by posting a $150 cash bond within 7 days. The matter gets placed on the formal hearing docket of the chief judge of the district, and at that time, the city will be represented by City Prosecutor Ryan Kolusny. So either as a bond or a fine, 150 within 7, that closes your case. Please always be careful out there. Take care.
Can I just say one thing?
Do you have a question about the appeal process?
Yeah, because I mean, I'm just confused because it's like where the stop sign is and where there's vehicles parked, it's 100% impossible to see that I didn't stop.
And the court appreciates your remark, and that is one that you can make in the context of an appeal, but the court has made its ruling. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Sarni.
I love you all so much. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.